You can totally nail the SAT writing section, and I'm going to show you how. Hey guys, it's Jen. I run a tutoring business helping students rock on their standardized exams. And today I want to talk to you all about the SAT writing section. Before we get into that though, I just want to remind you to subscribe to our channel as well as my mailing list to be notified of all of our awesome tips. Okay, so the key to doing well on the SAT writing section is to know exactly what you're being tested. Now, the questions here could mostly be categorized into one of two types. We have the grammar questions, and then we have what I call the structure and organization questions. I want to start by talking about the grammar questions because these tend to be a little bit more straightforward. Now, grammar questions encompass things like punctuation, subject-verb agreement, verb tenses, pronoun reference, and a whole bunch of other grammar rules. But these questions are all rule-based, which means if you just learn the rules and do a bunch of practice problems, you shouldn't have any unpleasant surprises on the test. And I could probably dedicate a whole video to each of the rules that I mentioned, but the purpose of today's video is to give you an overview of grammar type questions. So I want to take you through a couple of practice questions so we can work through them together and you can see it in action. Here is an example of a grammar question. Scientists have long known that soot particles facilitate melting by darkening snow and ice, limiting its ability to reflect the sun's rays. Based on the underlined word, as well as the other words in the answer choices, I already know this is going to be a pronoun reference question. The key to these questions is to figure out what noun or nouns the pronoun is referring to. Now, the question you should be asking yourself is whose or what's ability to reflect the sun's rays? Okay, so I'm going to go back through the question and hunt down the noun that we are talking about. So scientists have long known that soot particles facilitate melting by darkening snow and ice. This is going to be the entity that we are talking about. It's the snow and ice's ability to reflect the sun's rays. Now, snow and ice is a compound noun, which means it's plural, and the third person plural pronoun is going to be there. D. Like any other health problems, these ailments can increase employee absenteeism, which in turn is costly for employers. Okay, noticing that the other answer choices here are, is, have. So this is most likely a verb tense, as well as a subject-verb agreement question. Okay, some combination of these two principles. So the approach is quite similar to the last problem that we did. The question still stands, who or what is costly for employers? Okay, so a key word you want to note here is this word which. Why is this so important? Because whatever the which is referencing is going to be the thing that is costly for employers. In this case, it is employee absenteeism. And absenteeism is singular, so it's going to be is, and that means no change on this question. The next category of questions that we have are the structure and organization questions. By structure, we mean how do we frame sentences so that we can achieve the highest concision and precision? And then on the organization side, how do we structure our paragraphs to achieve the greatest level of organization and flow? Now, these types of questions encompass things like relevance. These are your, should I keep or delete a particular sentence from my passage? It also encompasses transition questions. Should I use an additionally or however or therefore to connect one idea to another? And it also includes the dreaded sentence placement questions. In the context of my paragraph, where might I relocate sentence 4 to have the flow be improved? Once again, I want to show you an actual question so you can see how this works. This is an example of a relevance question. What was less well known until recently, at least, was how this relationship among sea otters, sea urchins, and kelp forests might help fight global warming. the amount of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere has increased 40%. And here's the question. At this point, the writer is considering adding the following information. Since the start of the Industrial Revolution, resulting in a rise in global temperatures. Now, this dependent clause is going to follow immediately after the 40%. The way I like to approach these questions is to figure out whether it is necessary to add it or not first. That way I can get myself to 2 answers, so I have a 50-50 chance. That's not always possible, but as much as you can, I try to do it that way. In this case, there is a clue that the answer should be yes. Okay, and the reason for that is, notice how my statement says increase 40%. Anytime I say you increase a percentage, you have to give me a starting point. I have to have a point of comparison. So if I say has increased 40%, I need to say from when or since when. In this case, they tell you since the start of the Industrial Revolution, which makes it a necessary component to have in the sentence. So I'm down to my 2 yeses, which means I can eliminate my 2 nos. But now I have to consider the actual reasoning. A says yes because it establishes the relationship between the level of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere and global warming. Okay, I don't really have a problem with that right now because that is essentially what we're doing. It's not very controversial here. I'm going to go to B real quick. B says yes, because it explains the key role sea otters, sea urchins, and kelp forests play in combating global warming. Okay, so this might be a convincing answer to some of you because you see that in the first sentence there, they mention all of these sea creatures. However, I want you to pay attention to this word. It explains. Okay, the question is asking you about this phrase up here. Okay, does this phrase explain the key roles these sea creatures play in combating global warming? I would say no, it does not do that. Because it doesn't do that, we're going to cross out this word, and that's not going to be the answer. That's not the reason why we would add a phrase, because that phrase has no relationship to answer choice B. Now let's go back to A just to confirm why this is the right answer. It establishes the relationship between carbon dioxide levels and global warming. Well, that's exactly what we're doing. We're talking about the amount of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, and then we are talking about it resulting in a rise in global temperatures, aka global warming. So A is the perfect answer here. Okay, so I said majority of these questions fall into one of the 2 categories, grammar or structure. There are going to be a couple of odds and ends on every exam. I call these the miscellaneous questions. So these could involve graphs, charts, tables that you have to interpret. And the important thing here is to not assume you know what the question is asking. These questions are not grammar-based. They are context and information-based. So you do have to look carefully at the data presented to you in order to answer these questions correctly. There are also going to be a couple of curveballs on every exam, and these ones are just completely out of the left field. You can't really plan or anticipate these. The key here is to read the question very closely, look at every word, underlining any trigger or key words so you know exactly what you're answering. And to give you an example, I want to work through a problem with you. Here's an example of what I would call a curveball question, and the key to these questions is just to read it super carefully. The result is a self-reinforcing cycle. As the ice melts, the land and water under the ice become exposed, and since land and water are darker than snow, the surface absorbs even more heat, which is related to the rising temperatures, and this is the part that's underlined. Okay, the question says, which choice best completes the description of a self-reinforcing cycle? This is the entire key to the question. So what is a self-reinforcing cycle? Basically a series of events that lead into each other. Okay, so in this case, what's going on? Ice melts. Okay, and then land and water under the ice become exposed. Okay, and since land and water are darker than snow, absorbs heat, so higher temperatures. Higher temp, Okay, and I want to close the loop on this cycle. So what's going to have to happen? More ice melting. Okay, hopefully you see how that works. In this case, it really helps to draw a diagram so that you can really see it. But what you're doing is you have to answer the question about the self-reinforcing cycle so that you can close the loop. All right, guys, I really hope you found those examples helpful and you thought this was a good overview of the SAT writing section. If you feel that you need a little bit of boost in your grammar rules, I'm going to link a couple of my favorite grammar resources in the description box below, so please check those out. If you like this video, please give it a like and share it with your friends. Subscribe to my channel, hit that bell, and I will see you in the next video.